Part his travelogues are a thing of the past. In fact, until we came along, Jim hadn't even seen an Adventure Road show in quite some time. We borrowed the use of a videotape machine at KGMB to refresh his memory and ours.
And a good afternoon to you. Welcome to Adventure Road. Very nice to have you with us today.
I don't know exactly how old this tape is. I didn't realize the rug looked that bad on the air, and if I had, I probably never would have worn it, and I'm glad I'm not wearing it anymore.
Very few local television programs survive 12 years. Jim Doney has a pretty good idea of just why Adventure Road was one of those few.
There were a number of reasons why it was successful, I think, and part of it was the hour at which it was on originally, which was 5 to 6, right before the news. A great many people sat down with their TV trays in front of the set and watched it while they ate supper. But I still have to think that it is the fact that it was real people doing real things. That everybody knew that even though these were little more, the speakers were little more than well-equipped amateurs, they were real people. And they somehow trusted what they said about people in other countries more than they would a big Hollywood company.
Actually, we must admit that in asking Jim Doney to view his old Adventure Road, we had an ulterior motive. We knew that Adventure Road programs were always filled with beautiful scenery and fascinating insights. And we hoped that by jogging his memory a bit, we might coax him into recreating a little Adventure Road of his own. After all, we figured what better way to end a birthday show on a cold winter night in Cleveland than to sit back and view Adventure Road in Hawaii. Fortunately, Jim obliged. So for the next few moments, imagine, if you will, sitting in your kitchen or living room in the early 1970s, allowing Jim Doney to take you to faraway lands. When Jim Doney left Cleveland, we all knew he had fallen in love with the climate and beautiful scenery of Hawaii. Only recently did we learn how important Hawaii's people were to his decision.
Of all the places that we had traveled, I never once really seriously considered living outside the United States, because although I became aware in travel that the United States does not have the very best of everything, it has the very best of more things than any other country in the world. All of the things you've heard about Hawaii are pretty much true. The fact that the pace is slower and that people are more casual and relaxed and that we don't have any panic buttons here, and it's a very pleasant way to live. But the really nice thing is that people get along so well here together. And if people on the mainland in some of our big cities like Cleveland would learn to get along with each other a little better, ethnically, racially, politically, a lot of other ways, they could live in paradise too. Paradise could be on Lake Erie, the kind of paradise we enjoy here.
At the beginning of this program, Jim Doney mentioned how tough it was being a weatherman in Cleveland this time of the year. To tell you the truth, I never really thought about it until now. We'll return in a moment as 30 years of memories comes to a close. 30 years can really go by in a hurry, and they can show us quite a bit of change. Incredible changes in technology, some not so incredible changes in programming, and like it or not, even changes in ourselves. When you think about it, a television station's 30th birthday is really not much different from any of our own. When we look back, we can remember times in our infancy when we fumbled around a lot and did things really more for fun than to make a living. We can recall times in our adolescence when we tended to take things a bit too seriously. And we can look at our 20s and see how we've mellowed, having learned that there can be a happy medium between the humorous and the serious things in life. It seems hard to believe, but that brings us right up to now, our 30th birthday. As all of us over 30 realize, that birthday can be a crucial turning point. We can choose to sit back and live on our memories, or we can gamble and forge ahead, trying new things, of course with the possibility that we may fail, but also with the possibility of improving and growing over the years. And if we've learned anything in our 30 years here at TV8, it's the fact that we simply cannot sit back and remember. We have to continue to grow, to keep up with you, and to keep up with technology. But we've also learned in 30 years that successes outweigh the failures. If we can simply remember, it's not the cameras, the tape machines, no, not even the satellites that make things work. It's the people. I'm Dick Goddard. Thank you for joining us on number 30. Let's try and meet again for number 50.
WJW-TV8, Cleveland.
Erie, Monday night on PM Magazine.
This is it. Show us some of the...
Guy's gonna strike out all his life.
Hi, Big Shot.